Hi, I'm Dave Cadilia, Visual Effects Supervisor on American Gladiators. I'm going to show you how we put new people in this old show. But you should watch the final video first, because it's really funny and will scar you for life. Chris Cantwell directed American Gladiators for Summer of Tears.
Action!
We did the cinematography, editing, and visual effects. Now, Summer of Tears already did an awesome job putting themselves into the movie Teen Wolf.
This is a girl's dress.
But Gladiators posed some new challenges because the actors really had to look like they were standing in the arena, hitting each other with pugil sticks, hanging from rings, and so on. To avoid effects whenever possible, we shot lots of stuff on actual sets and used untouched footage from the show. For everything else, we shot on a green screen stage. Like in this shot, where we thought it would be funny to replace this gladiator girl with Rage, played by Will Greenberg. On the set, James matched the camera angle, framing, and lighting. In post, we painted this clean background with animated spotlight, matched the original shot's camera motion, and put it on top, erasing the gladiator girl. The green is removed, Will is put on top, and given the same motion as the background. Our HD footage is color corrected to match the older footage. For many shots like this one, we wanted to do our own camera work, but on a green screen, if you move the camera, you also have to move the background to match. That's what tracking markers are for. Effects software follows these markers and applies their motion to the background. Without markers, it'd be nearly impossible to see how the green screen is moving. Now that this shot is tracked, let's put in the background. We blow it up really big so we have room to move it around. This makes it really blurry, so I took this picture of a carpet on my iPhone and used that to add some detail. Here's how it would look if the background wasn't moving. Here it is, tracked and matched. The audience is frozen because we painted this clean background from a still frame. Later, I'll show you how we steal audience members from other shots. Now the background is still really low quality because it's so zoomed in, so we use my favorite trick, throwing it out of focus. Here's the final shot in HD and on VHS. For this shot of Shelley's family, we filmed Kirsten in 4 places, removed the green, moved the dad closer, and made the daughter smaller. Spill suppression gets rid of green color in transparent edges and green light bouncing onto the actors from the stage. Here's the background from the show. We don't want the camera movement because we want to clearly see Kirsten's 4 expressions. They're placed on top, color corrected, and blurred. Here's the final shot.
They're all here today having made the long trip in from Santa Monica, California.
This shot is the exact opposite. We want our actors to match the camera movement from the background. Here's Beck and the girls. The green is removed, spill suppressed, and placed over the background. The background is moving, but our actors are not. We track the background's motion and apply it to the actors. Color corrected, blurred, and VHS'd. Shots like this one require that we carefully match the perspective of the background. If we shot our actors with the wrong perspective, they would appear too big or too small when they move around, or they'd be standing at a slant. We picked this shot in advance, traced it on our monitor, and used it as a guide to place our camera and actors. We painted this clean background, tracked James's camera work, and matched the background. This strange-looking pass is just for the shadows on the floor. Brightness values are extracted from the green floor and applied to the background. The actors cover up the weird ghostly bits, are color corrected, and blurred. Here's the final shot.
She is clearly upset about this call, Chuck.
Here's Will keyed and spill suppressed. Here's the background where we painted out the gladiators. To give it some life, we took this crowd shot from earlier, stabilized it, traced out the people, put them in the right place, put Will on top, tracked and matched the background, threw it out of focus, color corrected, and blurred. Here's the final shot.
Yeah!
It took a long time matching the graphics to the show, like in this case of the contestant information. To preserve the star pattern, we used clone brushes to paint out the existing text, then replaced it with our own, trying to match color and font as best as we could.
It's time now for Joust.
Here's a tougher example of having our actor match the background. We want to take out this gladiator and put our actor Rob in his place. Why is he sideways? When you shoot something on a green screen and you're not moving the camera around, you want to use as much of your camera's resolution as possible, and that means filling up the frame. In this case, filling up the frame meant turning it sideways. It's easy to turn him the right way, and this gives us the best possible key. Some shots are really hard to track, and this was one of them. The camera is moving, rotating, and zooming all at the same time. Basically, this means tracking 1 or 2 dots isn't going to work this time, Special camera tracking software follows these points with help from the artist and figures out how the camera was moving, which creates a 3D scene like this, complete with virtual moving camera. We paint a clean background still image and place it in front of the gladiator, effectively erasing him. Rob is placed in front of that, and he also receives the perfect camera motion. Here's the original, with the clean background, and with Rob on top. Color corrected and blurred. Here's the final shot.
It's time now for Joust, a brutal display of hand-to-hand combat and honesty.
Enough of that complicated stuff. Here's a nice simple shot where we again match our footage to the background. We paint out the gladiators, put ours on top, color correct, and blur. Here's another shot where matching the show's camera angle was key.
Oh my!
Finally, some violence. James and I built the pugil sticks one night out of PVC pipe, paper towel rolls, plastic bags, and colored tape. Not too different from what the show probably did. We shot the decapitation in 2 passes. This one was for Reggie hitting a dummy head, and this one was for Rob. The pugil stick broke by mistake, but luckily it was funny. Reggie is keyed out, and I'm rotoscoped out. This also removes the pugil stick, so it had to be painted back in. Here's a look at how we paint a clean background. Reggie goes over the clean background. Rob goes over Reggie. Rob's head needs to be gone, so we rotoscope it out, leaving only the dummy head behind. A smooth rotoscoped neck isn't very appalling, so we put this nice gory neck stump on top. No tracking markers here, so it's animated by hand. Our actors are color corrected and blurred, so all that's missing is blood. We shot this splash element for bullets hitting water in the movie Black Star. Colored red, it would make a nice blood fountain. We also shot this blood element for our Footloose remake scene 53. Here's the blood added for the final shot in HD, and here it is on tape. For the head interview, we shot 2 passes, this one of Rob talking, and this one of the dummy head. We colored the neck to look more realistic, placed it on top, and gave it motion. Here's the final shot.
Gemini clearly got the best of me on that one. I think I just lost focus.
The desk was introduced in later seasons than we were using, so when we painted out the announcers and their shadows, we also had to remove the new red and blue stripes around the arena. Desk shots from the show are rare, short, and very shaky, so finding usable pieces of audience, stabilizing them, and stitching them together took some effort. Right, James?
That's right.
Here's the crowd placed into the clean background. Here's Robert and Todd keyed out and placed behind the desk. To create their shadows, we flipped Robert and Todd flat on the desk, darkened them, kept them within the desk, and faded them out a bit. Here's the final shot.
Glad you could join us as we wrap up our first round of semifinal matches.
For Hang Tough, our actors had to swing from rings, so we hung these rings by the stage door and put up a green screen. Here's the shot of Sarah. We cut out these still images of rings and animated them to swing. The background is thrown out of focus, Sarah is color corrected, and given some glow from the bright lights behind her. The end credit shots use the same techniques as before, and even some of the same backgrounds. For this second angle on the decapitation, we basically did the same thing. Here's the take of Rob, keyed out, and his head rotoscoped out at the moment of impact. Here's the take of the dummy head, keyed out, and I'm rotoscoped out. This chopped off neck is hand animated to match Rob's shoulders, and given an animated warp that appears to make it roll forward and back. Yes, those are phony audience members from the original show, which were supposed to make the crowd look bigger. The dummy head is put on top, along with blood elements and color correction. This shot was a bit intimidating, but it turned out to be my favorite one. Again, James carefully matched the background's camera angle and lighting. When the tennis ball hits Nick, we animate him flying back a little from the impact. Here's the animated tennis ball, the hole in his body, and blood element. My favorite part, the shadows are extracted from the floor and this green board we set up. We animated this spotlight shape to match the one we had on the set. Here it is applied to the background. The same thing was done on this shot of Matt the paramedic. Here's the key, which leaves the shadows behind, and they look good once there's spill suppression applied. Here's the spotlight element by itself and added in. That's about it. Yeah! We completed just over 50 visual effects shots on this project, and we're proud of all of them. Special thanks to Summer of Tears for having us on board, Chris Cantwell, all of our actors, makeup, wardrobe, and everybody who was involved. So, if you ever need to put actors into a classic TV show, now you know what to do. Build a set.
See you next time on American Gladiators.